Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds. Austin, Michael, and I are here for Australian Survivor Redemption
Did you just
Week
dab?
1.
Yeah, I brought
Sorry
back
to
the
sorry
dab.
to interrupt the intro, Jake, but did you just dab? Oh my god, no.
Yay, Davin.
I've
All
been
right.
dead for so long. Sorry, go on, Jake.
But yeah, Week 1 of Australian Survivor Redemption. We're here to talk about our returning players, our new players, and to see where we are in the draft. So, I mean, what are your guys' general thoughts on these first 3 episodes?
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I was genuinely considering like going into this that at least one returning player would be gone. I was
Yeah.
very worried it was going to carry, but all four seem to be doing really, really well. I think Mark's in a bit of potential danger, Harry's in a bit of potential danger, but I don't think it's terrible just now. They've got like a couple of people talking about them. So if I can get through another week with all the returnees still intact, I'm a happy bunny. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really fun 3 episodes. I thought we'll talk about David. Like I thought he was a lot like more timid than I thought. He wasn't super bombastic, but I honestly, and I feel bad saying this, I didn't really notice any difference. It wasn't that weird to me, surprisingly.
Yeah, I feel like David wasn't he wasn't really off. I do feel like he was going through the motions, but that's not necessarily a bad thing when you're trying to start off the season taking over for JLPU's beloved host. Like I feel like that's kind of what you have to do. And yeah, like you said, I was pleasantly surprised by like the returnees all staying in the game. So I'm sure we'll get to. Austin, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, without going into too much detail, I think I was highly entertained. Definitely different expectation than I thought. I liked every episode because it was a different style blow up for each one. It wasn't like, by the book. Expectations were, not hit in the terms of like all returnees are just getting shot out of the clouds. So I mean, I was invested. I'm excited to talk about each episode. I think it was a good first 3 for sure. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about some of the players too, because there are some interesting strategies like brewing up for certain individuals.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid 3 episodes as well. And there's some crazy plays going on already, and quite a few blew up in some people's faces. So as we will definitely get to.
It's kind of wild that like all 3 episodes, the people that went home were like it was majorly self-inflicted. It's
Right.
not very often that happens, especially not
Yeah.
that consistently. Like it was all self-inflicted. No one really had to do much to get those people out. It was just they played like crazy people.
Yeah, I feel like it often does happen like the first tribal council, at least in Australian Survivor, then it kind of calms down for some time and then it heats up again. And now we just got boom, boom, boom. So yeah, it should be interesting to discuss here. So we're gonna kick it off. We have our epic opening. As always, we get my favorite part was Simon talking about his great trilogy, and we get like the Reddit comments of like, Simon, you're an idiot. That was such good editing.
I laughed out loud at that. That is crazy. The fact that Reddit is now a part of Survivor Lore. Like
Yeah.
Simon, the bad edit continues. He's looking good right now, but the fact that they're even mentioning that response and the response to his edit from places like Reddit on his third act edit is just wild. Poor Simon. He can't catch a break, this guy.
No, even though he's getting like a pretty decent edit again, like he's still getting like branded with like the idiot label, as we will get to it at certain points. They love dunking on him. So
I think it's funny
it's
that
a minor thing that probably won't come up again, but like the fact that they even put his cookie idol on his mug in
yeah,
an episode down the line, like
we'll get
just
there.
little things like that with Simon, where it's like they wouldn't do that with anyone else. It's just
No.
so wild. We got the Reddit and the mug.
Yes, yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Austin.
Yeah, I was literally just about to say, like, it's funny how when we were doing the draft, we're like, oh, this is like the one guy that's the goofy edit. Like, the music goes from serious to like whimsical when this dude's on the screen, and that's exactly what happened immediately when the Reddits come up. It's just this funny minute of just Simon reflecting on how he's like, I know I'm ass, but I'm gonna do it this time. I'm just like, I love it. So much energy.
Yeah, and as always, we get a shot of Simon's abs because they love to show us like how hot the people are in Australia, like both guys and girls. So, I just find that
I'll be there one day. I'll be hot like you, Simon.
The dream.
Yeah. So we get our marooning, so to speak, with the opening challenge, and David talks to them a little bit about what this experience means to them. And we get our opening challenge, which is like solving the puzzle to like build like the stepping blocks, and then you have to get the key, and then someone has to go run and get the torch. And this is where we end up getting Lyndl ends up going and getting the torch, and also getting a clue to an idol, which is going to be super important. And then we get the tribes. See, they're competing for whether to be the bounty tribe or the Barren tribe. So we're bringing back the haves versus have-nots from Survivor Fiji, apparently, which I wasn't necessarily expecting them to do.
Not at all.
Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on this twist being like the tribe divisions?
I mean, I'm fine with it. It's, I guess, something that I haven't seen in a long time, so might as well toss it in there. I mean, I guess if you're going to tie it into a season of redemption and like getting past your struggles, I mean, I guess it ties in somewhat, right? So
yeah,
some tribes got it all, and one tribe's, trying to redeem themselves, I guess. I don't know about y'all, but I thought Lyndl was going to just not take it for a second. I was like, okay, bye.
Yeah, it definitely
I didn't think she was going to notice it. But I think they clearly saw that Bounty versus Barren was so well received in Brains versus Brawn too. Yeah. Thought, let's do it again. Even though nobody liked that twist in Brains versus Brawn, but they're just doing the same one, but slightly differently.
No, I mean, it got Polly out so in that season, so
yeah, I guess.
I don't think anybody came away from that season liking that twist either, but like, yeah, I'm just like, I don't like it where one tribe is severely disadvantaged, especially because you can just lead to one side losing over and over again. And it surprisingly, as we'll talk about, the Barren tribe didn't do that badly. Like, they won 2 out of 3 immunity challenges over bounties, so like they're doing pretty well for themselves.
Yeah, it hasn't like affected anything really. It's just I can't remember who it was. There was a guy that was kind of happy he was on the Barren tribe because like he wants to build a shelter, he wants to do the Survivor experience. I'd kind of want to do that stuff. I'd like to build my shelter. I don't want to go back to some resort, some like pre-made version of Survivor. I'd be happy with my little Barren group until I got hungry, obviously.
I think it was Caleb that was like the happy smiley one. I mean, he was just happy to be there. He had his birthday out there in the first episode 2, I think it was. And I don't know, I think since we're on Caleb, I mean, I think he's one of the newbies that actually probably has a shot at this point. So
yeah, he was good. There was quite a few standout newbies. I've really enjoyed the cast so far this season, and yeah, it's kind of messy, but people are standing out, and there's still some typical Australian Survivor purple edits, but hey, there's 24 people. We can't focus on all of you. Some of you, it pains me to say, some of you don't matter. It's fine.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's people that are there, like even some of the early boots. Sometimes we do get a pretty decent edit for early boots as well. Sometimes, so it's interesting to see who they purple and who they don't. So.
Yeah, I feel like when you're an early boot, they try to show you a little more than like someone who probably doesn't play the amazing game and goes far. You know what I mean? Like they'll toss them in when they can, but I don't know. If you're edit watching really hard, I feel like Australian Survivor, you can kind of engage who you could possibly see go somewhat far by just seeing how many confessionals they get.
Right. I think all 3 episodes of this, it was so easy. A minor criticism, I guess, if I'm going to criticize, but I do think it was very easily telegraphed who was going home every single one of these episodes.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like you can just see it
yeah.
coming a mile off. Before the players have even started discussing that particular person, you watching the edit already know it's going to flip onto them. So it's like they could do better with the edit in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, we knew who the first boot was going to be, as we'll get
Oh, yeah.
into. Like we said it in our draft of like this person is not going far at all. So,
What a call.
we'll get to him. All right. So we get back to the camps. I think the biggest thing to discuss is that Lyndl's idol clue. So it turns out to be the idols from Champions versus Contenders 2. You have to transfer it to someone from the other tribe. And we saw David himself pull it off with Sean, or not pull it off because then Sean found out. But we've seen that twist. And so Lyndl is going to share it with Brooke in these 3 episodes. And obviously it's going to culminate in the 3rd episode, as we'll get to. But I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on seeing this twist with the idols come back into this season?
One of my favorite idol twists. I think it's one of the most fun uses of an idol, and it worked out so perfectly with David and Sean in Champions vs Contenders content wise. I'm surprised they haven't done it again up to this point. It feels like a natural thing to do again, and it led to even more good content. Do it every season. I don't care.
Yeah, for sure.
I enjoy it. I mean, it basically, you, instead of just having this secret idol, you kind of at minimum have to tell one person, which you know they're on the other tribe. So I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know if I'm as eager as Michael is about having it every season, but once in a while, I'm into it. Like this season, cool. I'm down. I haven't seen it in a minute.
Yeah, I think it incentivizes people to work with someone from the other tribe, and like for Brooke, one of the returnees, to be the person that Lyndl approaches to like get this going is pretty crazy. And I think it also shows like how approachable Brooke is as a player, that like people like her enough to even just approach her to hand her an idol. So
that's why I like it so much. Because I love cross-tribal alliances being built, and it is perfect for that. And also, I think it's a good lesson for players that you need to be on your toes 24/7 in the game. Like, just because you're at a challenge doesn't mean that the game's stopped. Like, there's stuff going on potentially between the tribes, and you've got to try and notice that stuff. And I can't believe, seemingly, no one noticed it, as we'll get to, but it was pretty badly swapped.
Yeah, it took a while for them to even get it. I'm like, is it even going to happen at this point? Because like I feel like Brooke was continuously just waiting for Lyndl to actually swap it with her.
I think she was just like afraid to, you know what I mean? Like it's a big deal. Like she was afraid to do the idol itself. I mean, she waited till nighttime and she was panicking, but she did it. I mean, it's definitely like in the moment. I wanted to mention, is this like the first time in a while we haven't seen someone find like a clue or anything at camp? Like, what was it? Lyndl found it at a challenge, immediately found the idol, and then immediately told Brooke, and then she just went and found it. You know what I mean? I think that's hilarious how no one's like needed anything at camp right now, or even like at least showed us that they're looking for it.
Right. Yeah, I'm shocked Harry's not doing more looking, but I think like Harry, for example, is like prioritizing that he knows he needs to connect to people, and he's not just going to rely on idols this time.
I mean, people might be looking, but unless they find it or them looking blows up their game, it doesn't tend to make the edit because there's no story in it. So I'm sure people are looking, but potentially there's nothing there. It's just these kind of swap idols, and then that's it. So there might not be anything else left to find. Well, while we're in this little portion as well, I was really confused about this. Harry and Lyndl make an alliance here, and it's very important in this first episode. But then we're going to see Harry like Lyndl's name out as someone that's going to be on the bottom, and I don't really understand. We were never given anything in the edit to why Lyndl all of a sudden is kind of lower on Harry's priority, when this first episode I thought these are going to be like the two running things.
Yeah, I don't know. Harry was throwing out quite a few people's names. He's throwing out Richard's name out like at the beginning. He'll throw out Lyndl later. Like, I don't know. Harry's just throwing everybody's name out, I feel like subtly, and like I guess people aren't getting worried about that. So I don't know. It is quite peculiar that Lyndl is at the bottom, but
I will say it's kind of been interesting these 3 episodes with the edit, quote unquote, because Jake and I, right before you joined, Mike, we were like, well, there's like these people talking, and then we don't even see the aftermath for the entire season. Like in episode 3, when Faith and what's her name, Keely, talked about Mark, and then nothing happened. I was like, okay, that's weird. Like,
yeah, they just ended the conversation like and they go on to the next thing, and it's like, well, there has to be fallout to this conversation because, you know, Faith is really closely aligned with Mark, so why isn't she like having a confessional of like, I can't believe Keely just told me that she wants to gun for Mark, you know, Mark literally protected her. So
there was also like another moment of that of like, who's the MMA fighter?
Cameron.
Yeah, Cameron. Yep.
Cameron. Yeah, like he was going hard against Jackson.
Yes.
And then that was never mentioned again. So like, is that still his goal? Is that still how he's playing? Then like, there's not. I agree. There's not a lot of follow through on the storylines that are set up. Where even just a little thing from these players of saying this is still my direction. Like it would help with the like fluidity of the season, I think.
Yeah, it's confusing because like, yeah, we haven't heard from Cameron since this first episode of like getting Jackson out, and then they go to tribal again, and all of a sudden it's Eliza, as we'll talk about later.
He's
but
a follower.
Like, yeah, it's like I guess, but we didn't know what like that was even an option till 2 episodes later when it happened. But yeah, it is interesting. Other things that happen, we get Harry and Simon's secret code about the rice. So I found that so fun. Like anytime Simon and Harry are interacting and trying to come up with like these secret codes of like, well, if the rice is hot, then you know something's going on. If it's cold, then there's nothing really happening.
It's if it's nice.
It's nice. Okay,
yeah. If they say that this rice tastes like shit, then something's gone wrong. Yeah. I love it because they don't want to spend too much time together, and they shouldn't. It makes sense for them to work together, and they're obviously going to, but they don't want to be hanging out together all the time. They already have a target on their back. Great from Harry to suggest that. And poor Simon, like I just love Simon because you can see how happy he is just to be involved in an alliance. It's like I just want them to work together. I don't want Harry. Like Harry's my favorite player. If Harry goes against Simon, I might have to start rethinking things because Simon's just too lovable.
Yeah, I don't really see a reason to go against Simon at this point. I mean, Simon's kind of like in past seasons, he's proven himself to be pretty loyal. So
loyal, yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, like his allies have been the one to turn on him. So
every time.
Yeah, every time. So and then we get over on the Barren tribe, we get Mark haunted by ghosts of the past. So we get Valeria and Viola. One of the best segments in these 3 episodes is Mark's story.
Yes.
So like to have that come up from Titans versus Rebels is so good. And then he forms the Ruby Soho alliance with Faith. And like this is really fun. I love this, and I was pretty impressed with Mark in the first 2 episodes.
This was again, my favorite. Ruby Soho, like the song by Rancid, like I love that song. So as soon as that came up, I was like, oh my god, this is my favorite alliance ever. There's also a wrestler called Ruby Soho, and she comes to the ring with Ruby Soho, the song, as her entrance theme. I think she's been out for a while. She had a baby, but so yeah, that got super exciting. That was super exciting to me. Also, what I found fascinating, and it shows what a good narrator and a storyteller that Mark is. Like, to me, Mark's story of redemption was obvious. It's the exact same story of redemption that Harry has. He got the final 3, and he was cut right before the end. But that's not the story that he chose to tell. He told the story of he got there on the backs of his dead allies, that he wasn't like locked in enough to know that they were going to be blindsided. He lost both of them in big blindsides, Viola and then the popcorn Raymond vote with Valeria, where it's like he wasn't on the ball, and they paid the price for him. And like I love that as like his story, and it makes so much sense with everything that he does in these 3 episodes of protecting his people and playing hard to protect his people. I love it. Like Mark, of the four, Harry's obviously my favorite, but like in terms of objectively, I think Mark came in and delivered the best return and player story and delivered on that through all 3 episodes. Like I'm really excited about Mark. I'm glad I picked him up.
Yeah, I think Mark's definitely aware of like what he needed to get done this season, and he's possibly going more than he probably should, but I think it's needed at least in episode 2, which we'll get to. But yeah, no, I love that he ropes in the crazy chef. I love her. I'm glad they're a duo. And I'm glad Mark's kind of taking that same ticket from, his first season of getting, the smart women that he, claims that he can work with and moving on from there. So I'm definitely been excited to see Mark for the next week for sure. But this episode was good groundwork. Yes.
Yeah, and like he went in and he was immediately able to like socially connect with a bunch of people, not just Faith, but it seemed like most of the tribe, to where he was pretty, insulated within it. And so I was pretty happy with Mark's game the first 2 episodes. We'll get to his decision in the second episode, but all right. And then we will get to the immunity challenge with the wheels again. Something really unique that US Survivor still hasn't done something like this, where you have to like take wheels and try to push them into like little barricades. Like I thought that was just something really unique. And Mark ends up being like, we knew Mark in Titans vs. Rebels was surprisingly good, especially in the water, like in these challenges. And like this was like no exception, where he's the one who like leads them to win this challenge because he has the strategy for getting these wheels in there. So again, unique challenge, and Mark really showed himself.
Yeah, I was more impressed. The other tribe, they managed to hit the post on all 3 wheels, and to me, that's even more impressive than making the shot. Like the fact that they were able to hit that post with all 3, they should have won immunity just for that. That should have been the rules. You got to hit the post. I really like that Mark kind of took control of that. It's a good way to show in those immunity challenges where people really don't want to be the first person to go. Like that, having returnees that have done these kinds of challenges before can be beneficial to you, and pointing out that he needs to put it like over the edge before you push it so it has a natural roll. And yeah, Mark smashed it. Go Mark.
Yeah. Austin, any thoughts on the challenge?
He was really, really good.
Really good. Okay.
Wheel.
Yeah, I got it.
I'm leaving. Bye.
It was a bad joke.
I mean, I like newer type challenges. I mean, this would have been a fun one to play in. So yeah, I was entertained for sure.
Yeah.
I don't have too much on it, honestly.
Yeah. Well, so Barren wins, so Bounty is going to go to the first tribal council, and I think we need to bring up our train wreck first boot that went last in the draft. Sorry, Austin, but we must talk about Pastor Daniel. And the fact that this guy came in here and he couldn't remember anyone's name, like that's a big red flag. Like you can absolutely tell why this guy was the first boot, because if he can't remember people's names, he's clearly not been very good at socially connecting to people.
You know what's tragic? I don't think I've ever related to a Survivor player more than Pastor Daniel, and that's so it's hard to admit that. But I watched him and I was like, oh god, that would be me. Like I suck at remembering people's names. When I played the live game I played, like I always mix people's names up. I suck at names, and I was like, oh, you think you're gonna go on Survivor and be this like great player? That's who I'd be. I'd be Daniel.
No.
See, the thing though is like it's fine if you're forgetting names. Just don't tell like the person literally that they're out and then like try to like say you're sorry. Like he did it so weirdly that I was just like, yeah, dude, you are just fumbling the bag after another fumble after another. Like he just kept it going like a tumbleweed. I mean, I found out his nickname because I kept calling him Pastor Trash. This dude was trash at every freaking thing he was trying to do. So
Oh, good! Yay, we get more pastor nicknames. Great.
Unfortunately, he wasn't around long enough for the nicknames to evolve. But one last thing on this little scramble as well, though, before Daniel goes, I really loved from Harry that he planted the seeds of Rich, and then when they were all around the well, there's like, does anyone want to throw out a name? And he just stared the daggers into Lyndl until she put the name out. And Lyndl even has a confessional being like, wait, Harry just like Jedi mind tricked me. What the hell just happened? The next thing I knew, I was throwing Richard's name out.
Yeah. And I did want to say also, like, Lottie, who we should mention, is like wanting to push Harry out, but he basically convinces her to be the one to put Daniel's name out. Like, I thought that was pretty good. So
it's interesting that Lottie is so gunning for Harry from everything we've seen, but you see quite often them stood chatting together, and they do seem to be working together at least somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
And Harry is aware that she's kind of gunning for him as well. It's like a weird relationship. I'm not really sure what's going on there.
Yeah.
I think it's tough. Like, I'm assuming most of them do want a returnee gone, but maybe she's the more vocal one of them all right now. It's just tough to like spew that out because it's gonna backfire on you almost every time, at least this first one, right? Like, if Daniel was out there spitting Harry, I'm sure that would have been, way more of a red flag than forgetting names immediately, right? Like,
right.
I think it's tough strategy. Like, yeah, returnees already don't have an advantage, but like, you also don't want to be that newbie that's gunning hard as hell for this returnee, because it's just gonna go right to the returnee and they might flip it immediately. I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to get to tribal council. Daniel is going to get unanimously voted out. And our big moment here is that Simon pulls an Angelina and asks for Daniel's jacket, and Daniel gives it to him. So Simon was the more successful Angelina and got the jacket. So I'm very proud for Simon to be able to do that.
Good work,
I love
Simon.
it from Simon. Yeah. Did we see him wearing it again? I can't actually remember seeing the jacket.
I didn't see the jacket after that, so
no, never mind. One more thing I just want to mention on David, and I'm going to use my own vote outs from the game I played to demonstrate it. Something I noticed when David reads the votes, he does a little hand wiggle and he like shakes the votes like to emphasize it. He goes, hang on. With every single vote. And once you've noticed it, you won't unnotice it. So to anyone watching this, prepare to notice it.
Right,
I don't dislike
it,
but I noticed it.
Yeah. One thing I noticed is, we'll get into the second episode, that at one point David like said like the name of the person he was reading out the vote before he actually turned the card over. So I found that interesting as well.
It's his first time. I'm giving him some leeway.
Yeah. So Daniel's gone. We get to episode 2. Brooke still can't find the idol, so she enlists Mark's help to be like, hey, I have this idol that Lyndl's supposedly going to trade me. Like, will you help me out? And like, this is their first time also kind of like getting together and having this conversation about working together, because they didn't want to seem suspicious either, just like Harry and Simon. So again, I love this, that the returnees are so like interested in working together, and I think it helps when both returnees on either tribe have not played together either. So because I think they're more incentivized to work together because they also don't have like this previous relationship either. So
oh yeah, for sure. Can we also talk about King Simp Mark? Like, he's the biggest simp in the history of Survivor. Like, that weird edit with the light as he's talking about how amazing Brooke is. She's so beautiful. She's so amazing. He's so mesmerized by Brooke. Yeah, it's like he's just gathering all the female players he wants to work with, and this like weird edit of the light was so bizarre, where she was almost like an ethereal being. Like, you couldn't believe he was looking at her.
I don't know. It reminded me of Survivor Amazon, and I think that the Amazon was a whole different context. Like, why they were
Yeah,
doing
less
that.
said about that, the better.
Yeah, like I was like, oh, okay, Mark. I mean, I don't know why they were putting the Survivor Amazon type of thing in this.
I mean, I
I
don't
expect
blame
him to
Mark.
say he's fallen in love with Brooke from Barren Tribe.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say like, you know, I can't blame him. Again, like these are attractive people. Like, not gonna lie. So
I would have done the same thing, Mark. You're basically a Hefner out here. You just want all the women to yourself.
not a Hugh Hefner reference.
I don't think that's the biggest compliment in the world.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But all right. And then we also have Johnson playing hard, and so he's aligning with Sally and Ben. And Mark's very wary of Johnson. I think we can just bring up the famous quote from this episode that Mark gives for Johnson. Johnson is the Timu Habibi. He's like Ferris.
Oh my God. My favorite thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all over the place. Yeah, he's no Ferris.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest about it. He's no Ferris.
No.
Also, he's got time. Ferris was a bit messy early on.
True. That's true.
No.
He's got time to improve.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can improve from Temu. You can get to Amazon.
True.
Yeah.
Upgrade.
So then we do have Harry and Simon also having a night chat, and they're plotting against Lottie. Like I love this again, just like two guys hiding in the bushes at night, just like plotting. I think this is hilarious. So
This is what I love about Harry. I'm just going to tie this in with another thing that because it's very similar. It's a bit later in the episode, but what Harry's really good at is bringing out the fun of Survivor and showing like, if you work with me, we're gonna have a good time together. Like he's not trying to pretend he's not a threat. Of course he's a threat, but like these little secret meetings with Simon and like they're hiding from people walking around in the background, and then later on where he comes up with his whole papaya thing.
yes,
And it's like we're gonna steal his papayas and go eat them, and they're just mushing papaya into their face. This actually reminded me. Harry talked about this in his deep dive interview for his first season, where he learned this from Luke. This is a Luke move that Harry saw Luke do, where it's like he steals these things and then he goes and he has fun with them. Him and Harry ate stuff on the beach together in that season. It's something that just, especially when people are going out there to play Survivor for the first time, they want to have fun. And Harry's the one that they're having fun with. And that's a huge commodity on the island of, we enjoy hanging out with this guy. We can eat papaya and be naughty little kids together. It's fun. And I think it's an underrated, really good strategic move from Harry to get people invested in him.
Yeah. I mean, Harry should do more like Luke was doing. Like Luke was teaching Ross to steal stuff, and then Luke was also stealing everybody's clothes after they were voted out. Like Harry should do more of that too.
I mean, honestly, I didn't even think about that. That's actually a really good point, because like when you're in a game of stress, like you want some relief, right? And like if Harry's giving you some relief, like in terms of just having a great time, not having to think 24/7 about your anxiety on the show, like that's very helpful to have.
Yeah.
If it comes down to a close vote and you have to decide, do I vote out this person or the person that I have a lot of fun with? And if that person goes, then this experience is going to be a lot less fun. Which way do I go? You're not going to vote out the fun person.
Right. I mean, that's why Luke makes it so far every single time. Like everybody just finds him fun. So
He's a fun guy.
Yeah. All right, we get the reward challenge, and this is like sumo at sea, sort of like the bags, but then you're like trying to run and hit the bell instead, and like try to stop people from doing it. And the Barren tribe wins again. I mean, they are doing pretty surprisingly well for being the tribe that is supposed to have nothing. So they send Blanche and Ben to the Survivor shop, and we get them having to make a decision on what like 4 items to grab. And so they pick flint, fish, tarp, and veggies. I did notice, like, I didn't think I saw like an idol or anything of that nature. So I was a little surprised that they didn't put something like that at the shop.
I don't think they would have seen it anyway. they couldn't even see the flint for about half an hour.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe they did and we just don't know because they didn't catch it. I don't know. I thought they were not finding that Flint though. Like the way they've been editing some of these is so funny because you almost actually think they're not getting it. Like I literally thought they were coming, had fish without Flint. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Slow like zoom in onto the Flint where they're like, "There's no Flint," and Flint.
She was like right there too. Like I don't know how the eyes just didn't like, you know what I mean? Like kind of just laser up right at it. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we still haven't gotten that much from either of them, which is interesting. Like, I feel like if they were maybe more important, like maybe we would have had them, you know, thinking about advantages and stuff more there, but from what we saw, they weren't. So
I want to say this about Blanche. She's more physically helpful than I ever thought she was going to be.
yes, I agree. I agree with
that.
that. Yeah, she was a speed demon in that challenge with the reward
Ran
challenge.
her, whoever it was over. I was like, okay, girl, like, goddamn.
Yeah, no, she is very physically capable, it seems. And then Ben and his little cactus speedo.
Poor Tez, that dude was
Tez, yeah.
Oh, Tez was getting drowned. The poor boy.
Harry was just like holding him under the water for ages.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to see more of Tez because I don't feel like we got really that much of him in these episodes. But clearly people like him because he hasn't even been a target. So
very briefly like a split target. He does have a cool moment of tribal that we'll get to, but yeah, that's been his only real moment. But there was one moment of tribal where I was like, ooh, I might like this guy if he sticks around.
Yeah. All right, so then we get Kat is starting to come out of her shell. She's targeting Faith, which is gonna come back to bite her later. So we'll get to that more in a little bit. But this immunity challenge, this is the one with the letters, and they have to climb up and put like the letters for immunity and then knock them off. And this is like a great challenge for Simon because he's his job, he's used to doing this stuff. And so he's climbing up the scaffolding, being like, "Don't drop your tools."
Don't drop your tools.
Yeah, and then the other funny moment is that they have to tell him how to spell immunities. Like, this is why you're on the Brawn tribe.
It's like still growing, self-deprecating king.
Still a boy.
We also get a JLP nod, which I appreciated. David does say Simon activating cat mode, which JLP has said several times about Simon. So I was like, that's nice. We got we just need like some kind of innuendo, and we got all of our JLP-isms.
He just needs to say busting nut after nut. Yeah.
On this challenge as well, I've seen a few people talking about this, and I agreed with what people were saying. I think this is a missed opportunity. I think this would have been a really good individual challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it was a really fun end to the tribal immunity, but seeing this like scaffold where you've got to build immunity with 12 people having to do it or whatever, I think it would have been a much better suited to an individual challenge, because I'd like to see how people do with that. And also I think the throwing the coconut at the end was kind of pointless, because you just have to hit the whole thing and it's all going to come top.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, why are you even doing it? He threw like 2-3 coconuts and the whole thing fell down. Like, and I also agree with you, because last season, I don't know if you remember the one challenge, it was like near the end of pre-merge where the people were hanging on the pegs. That was an individual challenge the year before, and I think they made it a team challenge now. This could be an interesting one that they bring maybe next season to make it a
individual
single immunity.
Yeah, because I do remember this. The one that you're referencing was in like season 2 as well, and I think it was like Jericho, and like it was an individual challenge. So I think it's very interesting. I agree with you guys. I think this should be more of an individual type of thing. Although like 12 people trying to climb that at once, like I think that thing would just fall over. But I mean,
like individual things like they do with the individual immunity. Everyone has one.
Yeah,
I want to know what Jake was envisioning. That'd be so insane.
Trying to swarm one giant wobbly shelf is what I was envisioning.
Everyone's just hanging on it.
I mean, someone would get crushed by that.
That thing would fall in seconds. I'd be like, shit.
So, all right. So then we're gonna get back to camp. So we have Kat targeting Faith. Obviously, it's her breakout episode of
She broke out all right.
Yeah, the Traders New Zealand alum. And then we have our Big Brother alum, Johnson. My other funniest moment of the episode is Johnson goes up to Don, tells him, hey, stop working on the shelter and go talk to people, and like pushes him out of the shelter.
Oh man, I love this tribe, dude. Like I knew from day one this was gonna be something. And almost every single person in this tribe has like a weird, quirky uniqueness to themselves. And it's just smashing with certain people. I love it.
Yeah, I mean,
Can we talk about John for a second?
Yeah, I think I know what you're going to bring up. Are you going to rant about his hat?
Well, just Don in general. Like, I think when someone comes into the game and they're the brother of Matt Rogers, you have a certain expectation about what this player might be like. I don't think anyone expected Don to be like how he is.
No,
like it's bizarre. He reminds me so much of just your classic kind of old school, older male player that he's there for the survival. He's going to build a shelter. He gets annoyed if people don't chip in. He rubs people up the wrong way. And so far, like, it doesn't seem like any of the Matt Rogers strategic mind has managed to get under the brim of his important fucking hat.
Yeah. Don't touch the hat. That was what I was gonna bring up. Is like he tells Tez, hold on to my hat, and I'm not gonna let you have my hat anymore because he put it on the ground.
My one and only time bringing up this guy. Where the hell's Kent when you need him? Burn that hat. Get on with it.
I love it if someone burnt that hat. It's some kind of swap. Simon's burnt a hat before. Maybe Simon can do it. I also loved the moment where Brooke got on his shoulders and was just like, oh, he's so sweaty. Don has not had a good edit.
No, I honestly think Don will be lucky to make it too much farther, but I think he's honestly probably going to make the swap and be like a post-swap boot.
Like, you think he makes swap? I could see him being the next one.
He could be the next one. I don't know. I just see Don as like that weird player that somehow makes it like to the swap and then they get booted like shortly before the merge. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah,
I could see him being like a sneaky Stevie.
Sometimes being a player like Don can actually work for your longevity, and that he's an easy boot. And if you're an easy boot, sometimes people decide, let's do the easy boot. More often than not, there's other things going on, and the easy boot sneaks their way through. And then at a certain point, if you're perceived as an easy boot, you're kind of not a threat to anyone. So like if he gets through like the initial rounds where no one takes that shot on him, like who's gonna want to get him out? Like, he's not gonna win.
I mean, you actually make a really good point, because this is like a really good GOAT type player. Like, if you know he's at least voting with you every time, he ain't strategizing against you.
Yeah, he's no threat. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
I like that view.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Because like, I mean, why would you get rid of him if he's like a super loyal player that's not gonna cause any drama? So,
he's also helpful in these challenges more than most. So
yeah, I agree with that. So then we have Timu Habibi. Johnson is now on the chopping block as well. And then, Kat is throwing out Faith. And, they're going to split supposedly on Johnson. Well, Johnson wants to get rid of Don. And then it's a split between Johnson and Sally. And we're going to get to tribal council. And this is where everything goes haywire. Shit hits the fan. And we're getting Kat immediately like calling out Johnson and just deciding to blow up her own game effectively.
Can I say this at least? You definitely can tell Kat's from Traders just by how she played that whole round almost. Like in Traders, I never watched her Traders games, so stay with me here, but it almost just seems like she was really good at throwing names out and seeing if it sticks, and if it doesn't, kind of just getting into the realm with everyone else and, getting herself forward, right? And that's kind of what she did with Faith. She's seen if it could stick. Nobody, it got back to Mark, obviously, and obviously what happens is Mark gets so against her because of this that it goes back on her. But you know, at the end of the day, you can kind of just, in my opinion, tell that she came from Traders, and it's kind of sad to see her go here because I was really kind of hoping to see a Traders player transition into Survivor, right? But I mean, I think she just screwed herself by kind of tossing it out too much because she was not gonna go. I bet if that never happened.
Your name didn't even come up until
Yeah.
Tribal Council.
Right.
Like yeah, crazy blow up. I also did love Mark just once he knows that Kat's putting Faith's name out there, just letting her know that he knows she's from Traders, and then doing the kind of dramatic bite of the coconut while he stares her dead in the eye. Great
Yes.
moment from Mark. What I loved about this is it's two very interesting stories going up against each other. Mark hears that his ally has been targeted. He's been through that before with Viola and Val. That's his entire story. He's not going to stand for it. And her story, Kat's story, is that she played Traders and she said that she didn't take the big shot. She didn't take the shot against the players she needed to get out. So she's coming in with that playing up against her, where she wants to take out the big players before they become a threat to her. And Mark's wanting to save his ally. So it's like these two ways of thinking in the game going head to head. But yeah, Kat just wasn't up to Mark's standard here.
No, I mean, it was clear she was done as even more so, not just like during tribal discussion, but then she ends up shouting her vote for Johnson, which is like, why are you doing this at your first tribal council, like pulling a penner? Like, I don't think this is good in any way, shape, or form to do this, even if you are like safe before that. So
the only comment I have other than that, I guess, making me laugh is I love how the five of them just sat around while Mark did this like live tribal. I'm like, are you guys that confident? It's not any of you. Like, two of you have your names floated out there, and then Kat. I mean, Mark literally, like Michael said, was like giving you the death stare about how you're on Traders. Aren't you like a little aware that maybe it's on you? Like, I don't know. I guess Ben didn't give a fuck at all, so he just sat there. So I mean, I just was cracking me up. I would have at least been like, "Hey, like, hello, are we good?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, this cracked me up.
Can I have a little soapbox moment because it pisses me off so much?
yeah,
Like I was on the Reddit as this episode was going out, and I was like watching it and reading what people were saying, and like Survivor fans fucking suck. Like I love Survivor, but like they just suck. They don't want any fun in the game, and like the entire thing was just, oh, you know, these live tribals, they're wrecking the purity of the game. Let me tell you something. Tribal Council is boring. It always has been boring. It's always boring. There's the odd one where something interesting happens. 9 times out of 10, a tribal council, you have the host asking a question and the player being vague and not wanting to say anything. So it's just going around the houses until we get to the vote that we know is coming. So give me the content. I don't care. If people want to get up and chat, great. It makes good TV. I don't want all these little game bots just sitting, staring forward and saying, yes, everything's good in this tribe. I feel bad about voting anyone out. Should we get to the vote? Boring. It's boring TV.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I agree with that. Like sometimes when the tribals and you don't understand what's being said, it's like, you know, I wish we knew it was being said. But like now that we can kind of hear everybody clearly every single time a live tribal happens in any version of the show, now I think like, yeah, I'm entertained. I love like watching people go crazy. So, but yeah, and you wanted to bring up something with Tez, Michael, as well. One of your favorite moments from something Tez did.
Yeah, I really liked that he came in hot. Like,
yeah,
I thought he was a player that was just going to kind of be quiet, and I like that when he came to Tribal Council, he actually just called it out. Like, I heard my name's been put out there,
yeah,
and said it right to Ben's face, and Ben kind of like looked
right.
horrified that he'd been questioned right to his face. But I respect it. Like, it brought that discussion out, and then that led to Johnson being like targeted even more in terms of the discussion. It was like, well, you also said his name. It's like sometimes, like if you've heard your name, being vocal about it, and I think people's biggest instinct in the game is to just be quiet and just kind of try and fly under the radar. But if you've heard your name, do what you can to just shake it and show that you have a voice. So yeah, I respected that from him. I do also have one more thing. This is just a fun little fact. I did tell them that I'd shout out their Reddit handle because I got this while scrolling on the Reddit. It was ZCSun2605. They also had Parvati written underneath their name. I don't think it's actually Parvati, but who knows? Fun little fact that they pointed out is that Brooke has played in 3 seasons and she has gone to Tribal Council in episode 2 on all 3 of those seasons. Just a fun little tidbit. I thought that was cool for the stat nerds.
I believe stat-wise, Brooke has just reached 100 days played as well. At least she's very close to it. So, yeah, I mean, the 100 Days Club, again, I think I mentioned it today in one of our group chats that Austin and I are going to be fun to rank all the 100 day players across all versions. So, because there's maybe like 15 of them, so it wouldn't be like too big.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so Kat is gone and Mark has made this massive move, and immediately I think it definitely puts eyes on Mark. Now, I do want to say he has people that should protect him now. I mean, like, Faith has every reason to want to protect Mark. I'd be shocked if she immediately would want to ditch the guy who, like, worked so hard to save her. So in a way, like, yes, Mark has put himself out there in a somewhat, like, dangerous position, but also, like, he may have, like, the numbers because, I mean, he just showed that he's loyal to his people, so...
I think it's a solid argument to get people to want to work with you. If you're a player that's going to go like to the ends of the earth, like fight to the death at your own expense just to protect your people, like, I want to work with that person. You kidding me? Like, yeah, great ally.
Well, because I've faced that problem probably in org games that I've played as well, is like I always kind of throw my game away at certain points for an ally. So, I mean, I think that it's definitely an argument to consider to work with someone like that. So,
yeah.
But, all right. So we get in deeper into the 3rd episode. We talked about the Papaya 3 of Jackson, Paula, and Harry. And the other thing that's happening on that tribe is Jackson and Eliza are sort of a couple. I mean, I think for Jackson, it's more just making a friend because he has like a partner at home. But for Eliza, she's in love with Jackson. So
she does say like she does say it's good to have a friend and hold a friend.
Yeah,
it was weird when they brought the age gap into it. It was a whole thing. But
yeah,
I've never cringed harder at anything in my life. That poem, my God, I can't handle the poem. I liked it in the way that, I don't know, like you like a kind of car crash film, like The Room. This was the Survivor version of The Room.
Oops.
Like, just bad, but so bad it's good.
Poor Eliza.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark. Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm a writer, and I don't think I've ever written something that bad before. So,
I don't think it was badly written. I just thought it was very cringy.
I mean,
that's what I was thinking too. I was like, oh, it's so funny that you're writing this like crush poem on Survivor.
I did see on her Instagram, she posted something on the social media clip of that particular scene, saying she was disappointed they didn't show the full 45-minute poem, which I thought was funny. So
45?
She's clearly joking, but I thought like clearly she has a sense of humor about it. So good for her.
Yeah, I find this also interesting because this is obviously going to lead to Eliza's boot, sort of. I mean, we'll get to really the main reason that she leads to her own boot. But I think this definitely put her on the radar as far as like, oh, her and Jackson are close, and Jackson was someone we'd already been considering. And it's another thing of like the power couple on Survivor on any version. If you see like a guy and a girl, typically you're going to split them up, and it often ends up being the woman that gets sniped out of the game, which like is unfortunate. I think like unfortunately that's really not going to change in my opinion. I do think in these scenarios like the guy's often going to stay in the game. So
the only one I can think is, what was that couple that came into the game, a couple, and the guy got sniped really early?
Well, there was John Cody and Candace Cody, but that was blood versus water. trying
They
to
were
think.
there were a couple on the same tribe, and she made it like final 3.
Oh, geez. In Australia?
Oh no, in the US.
You're talking about the Michigan guy?
Oh,
from,
John Mish and Jacqueline. Yeah.
Yes,
John.
yeah.
John got sniped out of the game at final 6 with an idol in his pocket. Yes. So
Final
that
6. I thought it was in the. I thought it was in the. I've not watched that season in
no,
so long.
they
Never mind.
San Wendel Sur, they made it very far in the game, and then he got sniped out, and then Jacqueline got protected by Natalie, and then won the final.
Weren't they like the longest pair, or was it the Missy one?
It was Missy and Baylor, unfortunately.
I forgot when Baylor went out.
Yeah, Baylor was at the final 5, but I mean, John and Jacqueline were a power couple. Anyway, that's something that we covered in the San Wendel Sur podcast. All right, so then we have our reward challenge. This is knocking over barrels, coffee and mugs from home, as we referenced with Simon's cheesy mug. But yes, the Bounty Tribe ends up winning their first reward. Well, they won the first reward challenge, I guess, to get the bounty. But since then,
I love this challenge.
Yeah, this is a unique one because like you're trying to get 3 towers of barrels over first. Again, something that hasn't been done in any other version or any other season that I'm aware of.
And also just the mechanics of like when do you release it, like your tribe's holding it, and then like I thought it was a really fun challenge, and Harry dominated it, so
Yeah.
I liked it even more.
Harry knocked
He knocked over 2 at once. David
Yeah.
was like, "What the fuck?"
Stop it. Yeah, no, I like it when it's something fresh and new. I mean, US Survivor needs to take a page out of this department's books a little bit because, like, my God, I get it when a challenge is nice and easy and like you can use it once or twice in a row, but like when it starts going 5 times in a row, like stop it. Like I don't want to see it anymore. Like this something new. Like I'm like, oh, I want to see how these people try this. Like if you're gonna show me all these challenges every time, I want to see something different.
Yeah, how many times have we seen US Survivor dig a boulder out of the sand in 9 seasons?
It's a boulder. Is this also where in the background of the challenge is this the idol?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is where Brooke and Lyndl end up like officially trading the idols as well. You have Brooke telling Mark to like cover for her. So this is really fun. So
oh my God. I was sweating.
Yeah. I was like, girl, just hand it. Just do it.
I don't want to speak ill of Brooke, but Brooke was the one in the wrong here. Like, Brooke was the one that handled this badly. Like, you can't swap it when... I mean, David's on a pedestal between the tribes. What's she meant to do? You can't walk that distance. Someone's just going to see you. Like,
Right.
the way to swap you need to establish that after a challenge, we congratulate the other tribe. They should have established that earlier of like, hey, we're all in this together. We say congratulations, and then just slip it in something, which is what they ended up doing. But Brooke trying to like walk behind David was madness, absolute madness.
Yeah. It was pretty funny. Again, I'd be fine with them putting this twist in every season. I really would be because I think it's so fun.
I like how Brooke wanted her to just walk over when Lyndl's entire tribe was gonna go congrats, and then Lyndl's like,
yeah,
nope, and then runs over there, and Brooke's like, just runs behind the thing, grabs her idol. I'm like, what the hell?
They're all hugging and stuff, and they want to hand it off there. So, all right. So then we're gonna get back to the camp, and we're gonna go back to Bounty, and this is where Eliza is gonna wake up, hearing that her and Lyndl are on the bottom. And she goes to Lyndl in the middle of the night, wakes her up and says, Lyndl, we're on the bottom. I'm just warning you. And this is where Lyndl is like, well, I wanted sleep and I got rudely awakened by Eliza. So I'm going to target Eliza now. So
I'm so bitter about how mad that made Lyndl. Like she is, oh my God, like why, like as a survivor, like you're trying to just disclose like, hey, I've heard that you and I are on the bottom, like I want to let you know so you can know this for the next day. She took it and was like, hell with you just told me I'm on the bottom, you're next, fuck you, now I'm going back to sleep. I'm like, what the hell, girl?
Yeah, they definitely. I think that was definitely how the conversation went because Lyndl like didn't want to hear it and just went back to sleep. Like I legitimately don't think there was anything further than that. And then instead of like trying to talk to Eliza further, she's just like, no, screw you.
I think
So
it's an interesting thing about how certain players, it depends how much social capital you've got and how believable your word is. And from Lyndall's point of view, and from my point of view, I was really surprised. Like I said, like Lyndall's on the bottom. When did that happen? Lyndall, in her mind, is in a really good position. She's got lots of things going, and Eliza's not. Eliza absolutely could have just told her this in the morning. Like,
yeah,
it's about
Oh, yeah.
presentation. If you don't have, so the difference between like Harry and Simon having these conversations and the stuff with the papayas, there's a pre-built relationship there. As far as we know, they don't have any kind of relationship. Like, if it's a player that you don't have a bond with, coming waking you up and dragging you out, and you're like, what? Like, we've barely spoke. What are you doing? So I just don't think she trusted her at a word. And like, I don't think she had any reason to trust her on her word. Like, I don't get it. I don't get why Lyndall was on the bottom in this situation. To me, it looked like, if I didn't know that she was telling the truth, it does look like someone trying to stir things and trying to just kind of throw something out there. So that's what Lyndall thought in my mind. Yeah, it's frustrating. Eliza told nothing but the truth and got
Mhm.
blasted for it, but yeah, it's all about perception in the game of Survivor.
I also
Yeah.
think Eliza could have done it differently if she really wanted to do it at night. I don't even think she even mentions that it's like an 8-person group. I think she just says that she's on the bottom.
right.
I'm like, why didn't you like include some of the facts to kind of help your truth here? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle because I do think it was probably like overreaction by Lyndall, but at the same time, like you guys have said, it just to not share any more information is I think Eliza had really kind of screwed herself as well. So
I also really don't like the big 8 lines from Harry. It feels very sloppy game, but Harry's been so good in these episodes of being under the radar, being subtle, leading from the sidelines, and then to try and pull a big alliance of 8, I just don't know. Like, this is not going to work. This is the exact same thing that Jesse got like laughed at for in Brains versus Brawn, where he wants to have like the mega alliance. Like, it's never going to work. They even tried making an alliance of 9 at one point.
yeah,
There's no way.
yeah, it's going to crack very, very soon. There's no
Yeah.
way that sticks together. I mean, we even had it in back in season 2 of Australia because you had what AK and Jared like flipping the entire thing at a certain point once they knew that their time and that like massive alliance was at an end, and they picked up Tessa and made a move. So, so I think that's gonna happen soon. So we then get to the immunity challenge. I think I have my notes that the Lyndl and Brooke idol swap was at the immunity challenge. I think they failed again at the reward challenge, and then they actually do it at the immunity. So
No, it was definitely at the barrel one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for some reason I have it in my notes. This one also had barrels, so because we do have them pushing the barrels like off the bridge, and then you have to line them up and try to shoot them all down with the sandbags. And you do have Jackson almost carrying the Bounty Tribe to win, but the Dawn ends up winning it instead for the Barren Tribe. Again, the Barren Tribe not being the tribe that is the train wreck. It is pretty crazy. So, and I wouldn't necessarily call either of these tribes like necessarily like the complete train wreck that you would think. No. Although I guess you could say Barren is pretty much a train wreck after that tribal council, but
I think they're just chaotic.
You also mentioned,
yeah.
Sorry, you go.
No, I was just gonna say I think they're just a chaotic group, Barren. But I love how Don just goes into engage mode and just knocks barrels out left and right to win it for him. Like, you can literally see the disappointment in Jackson. He's like, God damn it, I had it.
Right.
He's so disappointed.
Yeah.
Don looks like a barrel.
Does.
God.
He's like a human barrel.
Yeah.
It was like barrel on barrel action. It was good. We also mentioned Simon just once again,
Oh yeah,
not being able to help himself, where he makes Brooke cry by bringing the mug to the challenge.
Yes, that was my other note. Is like he just brings his mug of himself and his family, and like Brooke starts crying. He's like, "Oh no, I'm a villain again."
I may have made a big mistake.
Big mistake.
Oh my god. We're not canceling Christmas. All right. So then we're gonna get to tribal council, and this is where we get some interesting stuff here, as Eliza is gonna get blindsided in an 8-3 vote. But the interesting thing here is Laz gets 3 votes, and one of them is from Dirty Harry. And Harry, I do believe, did this. We'll get confirmation next episode, I'm sure. He didn't want Jackson to feel alone. And probably. I think that is important if that's what Harry was doing. Because you don't want Jackson to feel on the outs, especially if a swap is going to come. And so I wonder how this is going to affect Harry, though, in terms of like Laz or Lottie. If they know that he's the one who did it, then that could be bad.
I'm like on the fence on this. I think he played it really well and he got the result, but too many people know that Harry was involved. So like, even if he manages to convince Jackson, like, I didn't know anything about that, like, I don't know how it's going to be sold, because people can just call out the lie. One thing I wish he'd done, there's a moment before Tribal where Jackson says to Harry, like, do you think there's something else going on? All Harry needed to say was something like, I've started hearing like some votes against Eliza. I don't think they've got enough, but I think there's something building against Eliza. Mm-hmm. And then afterwards you can play it like, I didn't realize it had that much steam. Like, I thought I maybe I could have done more, but I just didn't think it had that many numbers.
Yeah, I think that would have been the ideal move. Austin, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna say it. When I watched my edits and I watched the individuals, I said this to you guys in our chat before this. Like, I really think Jackson's either gonna be a very big hit in this next episode, where he's got to be a target, or he could go long game, because he's gonna have a chip on his shoulder now. He's pissed. You can clearly see at this tribal, he's like, "What the fuck?" His name is constantly brought up these first 3 episodes. I mean, I would feel so weird if he like went home this next few episodes after so much emphasis has been on this clowny younger guy, like the few episodes. Like, he has a lot of different options now. He can go back to his tribe and stir chaos if he wanted to. He can just fall into Harry's lap and then blindside later in the game. Like, he's got tools now. He's not like, he's already been screwed over by everyone. You know what I mean? And in seasons past, when you get screwed over pretty early and you get further and further, you're blindsiding people. Like, you don't care. The loyalty is not there anymore. So I'm really excited to see what happens to Jackson this next week, because we could see him do something, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the storyline that was kind of dropped with like Cameron throwing his name out will probably come into play later. I hope they just don't drop that. But I think feel like
they could. I really do, because that Cameron and Aisha duo is starting to feel interesting to me. Like, I feel like one of those two are going to get dropped real early, I think.
Yeah. All right. So that's the end of week 1. Our draft check-in. I didn't lose anybody. Michael lost Kat, and Austin lost Pastor Daniel and Eliza. So yeah. I'm shocked I didn't lose anybody, but I mean, last season Michael lost like 5 in a row and then still was second place.
In the first 3 episodes last time, I got 2 of my people voted out and 1 medevac.
Yeah.
So that was not a good first week. So I'll take 1. I'll take it. Yeah.
Let's do player of the week. So I'm honestly gonna go with Simon, just as a character. I think Simon was really fun this week, and like, it's his great trilogy. It's the beginning of his great trilogy. I'm excited to watch Simon. There's a lot of other options, but I just found him hilarious this week. So I think he's set up to probably go pretty deep actually this season. So what about you guys?
That's a good one. I'm gonna go with Mark. I actually think Mark set himself up really good, at least like groundwork wise. Maybe episode 3 is a little interesting just because like Keely was floating his name. We didn't get to see much, but I think if I'm analyzing like who did the most, like who built something and has started their game up, like Mark jumped out of the cannon pretty quick. Like I have to respect Mark here and give him my MVP of the week.
Yeah, 100%. Michael?
I would have considered Lyndl until episode 3, and I was just kind of like a bit unsure about how all that happened in episode 3. But I think Lyndl's been a real standout, and I do think she's gonna be a player, like a big player for the rest of the season. I wouldn't be surprised. And obviously Harry, like I'm not sure how this last move's gonna work out, but I've loved seeing Harry again. But I have to give Player of the Week to Brooke because she is. Just like the other attorneys, she's really solidified in the game, but she's probably the most under the radar and in a really good position. She also has an alliance now built on the other tribe. She has an idol. She has so much going for her in the game where it's like, I don't see Brooke going anywhere for a long time. Like she really, really did a great job.
Agreed completely. The returning's taking it this week. And Harry's not one of them. So
I'll put him second.
All right, last thing. Predictions for next week. I do think Mark might be in a bit of trouble, but again, I feel like it's possible he ends up recovering from this. Again, we have seen plenty of winners or people that make a move that do end up making it out of it, despite maybe being in a bit of trouble. I mean, we saw AJ do it 2 seasons ago. Despite like doing the whole hostage thing and seeming like he could be in a bit of public danger, but it worked out for him. So obviously Miles being another prime example of being a target from week 1. So I could see Mark making it through. I think it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. What do you guys think?
I'm going to make one prediction, one bold prediction. We will be sitting here at the end of week 2 discussing episodes 4 to 6 with no returning players gone.
Wow.
I think they're all going to make it.
Damn.
I think the edit is telling us that Harry and Mark could be in danger, but I think if you look at the numbers, they do have a really good shot of pulling it out. I don't think they're in quite as much danger as the edit is trying to tell us.
Yeah.
I'm crazy.
Should be interesting to
crazy because that's what I was gonna say.
Oh wow!
I can't I can't claim it. Damn it! I like literally agree with what Michael said. Like I was literally gonna be like I don't think we're getting a returnee gone this early. If a returnee is gonna go, I almost think it's gonna be a swap. Like at a swap phase. I don't think I see it. I also wanted to say, like I already said this prediction like 5 minutes ago, but I think Cameron or Aisha goes. I think someone in that duo goes. And I guess this is my bold one. I don't think we see Johnson go at the next tribal, maybe even the second tribal. I don't think we see that happen. I think something different's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we could definitely see someone go that we haven't necessarily seen the setup for yet until like the episode happens. So should be interesting.
I feel some weird way that either Mark takes Timu under his wing or Mark sees something else happen. Like if Mark's already jumped, the gun to shoot at somebody at a tribal, I think he's going to do it again with something else. Like maybe he catches Keely saying something, you know what I mean? Like I think something's going to happen.
That was a note I had, and I forgot to mention it. To me, it was surprising that Mark didn't try and bring Johnson in because Johnson, he saved Johnson. Johnson was going home. He could have said like, "Hey, before I did what I did, all the votes were on you. I flipped them onto Kat." Like you could pull him in as a loyal ally. And if you already think he's like a Timu version of someone, you're not that worried about him.
Right.
I just see it as this: if you're returnees, you already want to work together. He's, closer to a returnee than anyone else.
Yeah.
Why not work with another strategist? I don't know.
Right. Exactly. All right, that is the end of week 1 of Australian Survivor. So be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe to my channel, also Austin's channel as well. If you want to get more content. Yeah. So with that, we will see you all next time for more Australian Survivor on the Tribe of Nerds.